Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Chihayafuru episode 24 review. With me, as always, are Coby and Torie. Welcome to the show, guys.
Oh, Jeff.
What's wrong, Coby?
That's Coby crying. He's crying because it's the end.
This is it. This is the last episode that we'll see for 6 years. I can't stand it.
Well, aren't you crying?
Well,
You don't give a fuck about the show, do you,
No.
Torie? You don't know the pain that Coby and I feel right now.
no. What pain do you feel?
You asked him
hated
why
it
he was
for 3 years.
You asked him why he was crying. It's obvious why he's crying. This is the last episode. We didn't even know it was happening.
We predicted it last time.
No,
that
we didn't.
We knew that there would at least be 2 episodes because they couldn't do anything in 2 episodes. So
No, I don't think anyone said that last episode. I totally thought there was only 25. We have been kind of joking, like, oh, any episode, this could be the last one. But at the end of the last one, I was, convinced. I was like, well, we've gotten 23 episodes. What's 2 more? That's like nothing. And nope, they fucking ended it right here at 24.
But this is actually...
That's why we're crying.
That's why we're sad. That's why we have tears. But this is actually, I think, really interesting because you watched it before I did, and you're the one who told me that this is the final episode. So I went into it thinking this is the final episode compared to you guys who were like, we might have one more, we might not. I wonder how that shaped our opinions of what we were watching. How did it influence you when at the end you're like, oh shit, this is the last episode?
Honestly, me personally, it didn't even really hit me until, I still don't think it's hit me yet that the season is over. Because I honestly felt blindsided. I was like, yeah, there's gotta be 25 episodes. Because, we've been talking about how the next 2 episodes are gonna wrap up. And I didn't even consider that this would be the last episode. In fact, we considered that it would be the last episode because we were initially going to have just Torie and I do this commentary because you were busy yesterday.
Yeah.
But then we looked it up. I looked it up. I was like, how long is season 3 going to be? And the only article I found and the only article I bothered to read was it was like a speculation article before the series even started. And it was about how, I guess this season, there was like a word for it. They ordered 2 somethings, and these 2 somethings indicated that it was likely that this would be 25 episodes. And also given the fact that the prior 2 seasons had 25 episodes. It was like an order for I guess time show slots or some shit like that.
But the reason you looked that up is because after episode 24 on Crunchyroll, they showed the behind the scenes of Chihayafuru, and I said, oh, it looks like this is going to be the last episode because the behind the scenes thing comes after next.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that unless 24 was probably the last episode.
Yeah. The reason we looked it up was because before we saw it was because we saw that there was an extra little featurette on the Crunchyroll list of things. So I looked it up, and then it was 25, and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe they're just releasing it early, but it turns out it was the last one. And I still don't believe that it's over, that our season 3 journey has come to an end.
But I'm not sad. You know why?
Why?
Because to me, and we discussed this last night, and maybe your opinion's different, but to me, season 2 ended as if they weren't thinking about making a season 3, and that's why it took them 6 years to make it. Not that I'm saying that's the reason, but the way that season 3 ended, it basically, to me, sets up a season 4. So
I hope so.
I'm hoping that they're already in the works for a 4th season, and that's why I'm not sad.
I guess I could kind of see that because what kind of gives me hope is that if you go to the Crunchyroll website, Chihayafuru is everywhere. It's on the list of the new episode you should watch. There's a banner about check out the behind the scenes of Chihayafuru, that extra little blurb thing that they did. So to me, that says that yes, the show is going to keep going, and I hope so because now, Torie, you just gave me the fear. What if it doesn't come back? I didn't even consider that option.
No, I'm saying I'm on your side that it will come back, and that's what they're setting up with this season. That they're gonna put another season next year. I quote it. Quote it now.
Yeah, predict it now. Doesn't matter if you're wrong. It's cool. Nothing to lose. Predict everything you can.
So then I guess the big question to ask overall is this episode a suitable finale for the season?
I say absolutely, and I think I take back what I said last episode, where I was like, this could have been a great finale for the season, and it would have been, but this one was actually even better. because last episode was all about 2 of the 3 characters in our trio, and this one, I mean, like I feel stupid. Basically, I feel stupid. Why did none of us think that Arata would be the way for these people to come back together? It's like a slap on the forehead. Like, dude, no shit. Like, it makes so much sense. They're the reason Arata came back to the sport, so Arata has to be the reason for Taichi to come back into the sport, and I guess Chihaya as well in this episode. I guess they revealed like she also quit the team, which I didn't get. I figured that was just like a rumor, but maybe she officially quit the team as well.
She said she couldn't play. She hasn't been able to play. She told her teacher that.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if she necessarily quit the team or she was taking a break or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was anyways, yeah, it just makes so much sense. Why? And Coby's over here like, yeah, Taichi's gonna be like on his own path and stuff, and maybe playing with the society by himself. And we've got all these other stupid ideas like, oh, what about Dark Taichi? He comes back with his hair dyed. Yeah. No, oh god, I want to scream at 1 week ago, our past selves from a week ago, and be like, you guys are idiots.
It does make so much sense. Like, and it makes it's what we've been saying about the show from the beginning, is that it takes the obvious answer, but like does it in a way that's really just emotionally. Because you're right, of course Arata. It's the same thing that happened. You know how it started. They brought Arata back. Arata will bring them back. Like, duh.
Yeah, it's astoundingly simple but beautiful, and of course it makes sense, and we finally see what we've been, I guess discussing and predicting, which is that Arata will eventually make his own team. I mean, they've been building this up now for the whole season, and even part of season 2. Arata has been, feeling around the idea of making his team, and finally the anticipation for that pays off in this final episode, in the moment where we need it the most, in the moment of need for Chihaya and Taichi. And the timing of it was perfect. It just makes sense. Mm-hmm. It all brings it back. It's all full circle. It's full circle back to the very first season of Chihayafuru, the very first episode even. Very first, 1 or 2 or 3 episodes when they were all children. As long as they have Karuta, they'll be together. Of course, Arata will be the one to bring back Taichi, because they have Karuta. That's why they're together. Why didn't we think of this?
Yeah, I think you could argue that like maybe it's like the whole team formation, whole Arata's arc that happened here happened really quickly. Like it happened in the span of like 10 minutes of just him forming a team and him becoming like a pretty solid team leader. But it did so in such a beautiful and thematically like relevant way that I was like perfectly okay with how they rushed his team and his ability to be a leader and going through the motions and then all that, because it fits with the story that they're telling. So it's like, even though it was a very quick resolution to I'm forming a team, it's great.
And to be real, I mean, Arata is not a solid leader.
Yeah,
I would say he has a long way to go still. They are showing the beginning seeds of how a team forms, and it's also full circle because it's mirroring what we saw way back in season 1 when Taichi and Chihaya formed their own team, and they're basically going through the exact same problems. Like you need to have a hype man. You need to actually win your game so that everyone else does good on their games, and it's so good because it reveals what we've taken for granted about the Mizusawa team. They specifically lay out, how their team dynamic works. You've got Chihaya, who's like their ace, who will win the game, which will inspire other people, and you've got a very vocal, natural leader in Taichi, who will inspire other people through their words, as opposed to just their gameplay. And Arata's team has like pretty much none of that. I mean, they have Arata, he's the ace, but I mean, he's trying to like balance it all, and he has to realize that he has to lean on his teammates too, because his teammates are there for him, and yeah, it's great because it revisits an old topic but in a fresh new way, and reveals why Mizusawa's team was so good even in their first tournament, essentially, because they had all the pieces right from the beginning. Yeah, just luckily, I guess.
Yeah.
Torie, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna also mention when you just said that they had like Chihaya and Taichi in their team, they also have what's his name? Deskomu.
Destomu.
Who? glasses guy.
He's
Desk
not
man.
ringing a bell. Has he been in this season?
Oh yeah.
That's true. I mean, usually he's the one in the teams that like sets up the order and does all the calculations and stuff.
He was a big
yeah,
role
that,
in the
that
first
guy sounds
season.
familiar. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's nice to see Arata also struggling with something because they always inflate him to be the best or
Karuta God.
yeah, Karuta God basically, a Karuta master. So it's nice to see him out of his element and he's struggling to do things, and just like Chihaya and Taichi did. So it's great, and I love the ending when they took the picture and then it shows the picture that Chihaya sent Arata, and it's just like, of
It
course.
comes full circle.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I love Arata's leadership style. I think the show could have easily have painted him as like, just kind of like an egomaniac, like selfish, like really just focused on himself and like not considering that. And like they kind of played with that. But Arata's inability to like, shout out or like to think about his team doesn't come from his lack of wanting to. Like you could see him being like, okay, this is what I did wrong. Like, okay, I need to say something, but I don't know what to say. Like, do I say this? Do I say this? Do I say this? Like, it just makes Arata so much more likable. Just because you can tell he wants to so badly be a great like leader to his team, but he just doesn't know how. Like, it's not that he has a lot to learn about getting out of his selfish and like single mindset. It's just like I don't know what I'm doing, but okay. After I love that moment after the match. He's like, okay, I got to. When he was like counting down on his fingers, like the 5 things he needs to be doing, and he's like, oh crap, I should tell my team these things. And he turns around and they're all
And they're
sleeping.
all asleep.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's just a great moment, and it just makes me like Arata so much, like even more than I did.
Yeah, and I think they did that well, like you said, within like 10 minutes of all this, of making a team and getting it established. I think that was plenty of time to hit the notes of exactly what they wanted. To show Arata struggling, but he wants to, and his excitement for his team, and that it will bring that same excitement to Chihaya and Taichi.
Yeah, and it's very his current style is very reflective of his personality. Because at his core, he really is just kind of like a shy and timid guy, kind of a soft-spoken dude. Even though when he's playing Karuta, he's a Karuta god. Because he's a Karuta god, you don't really get to see that sort of shy, introverted kid that we met all those years ago come out, because he's so confident in the sport of Karuta. Now that in a team setting, though, that part of him, we see it again. We see him struggle to find the words, as you said, and but he's also he's a very eager, sincere, analytical dude. And I like how at the end, like when he tries to do like a team cheer, they're all like all over the place, and he's like, oh, sorry, can we do that one more time?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. I love it. Sorry, can we try that again? Great.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, that's Arata. That's the Arata we know right there.
Yeah.
Not just a Karuta guy, but just an awkward teenager.
Yeah, it's the Arata that Chihaya deserves.
Yes.
Well, debatable. And I like how they set him on a path to still learn, because sure, he's established his team, but I think a big drive of next season is going to be his relationship with what's her name? Yu, I think her name is Yu, the
Yeah,
girl
his neighbor.
his neighbor, because it's like. Because there was that scene where she like comes and is like, well, if you need more people, I will happily. And then there's 3 other kids like, I want to play Karuta, and then he like completely ignores his neighbor like 100%. So I just think that's going to lead into more type of maybe a storyline where it's like Arata's teaching is becoming a teacher, but he's teaching people who already know Karuta. What about you, who doesn't know the basics but wants to learn so badly? Like how would Arata approach teaching her? And I think that's going to be like the big test for Arata as the teacher.
Maybe. I think Arata's storyline next season is just he's going to be super involved with his team, and people are going to be freaking out that he's not focusing on the Masters Championship. That's really what I think it's all about.
But then because it was ringing in my ears, because like, what's the motto of the show? It's like a team match is a singles match, and a singles match is a teams match. So it's like by doing this, by being this leader of the team, it's going to help him become, the master. And that's what people need to realize.
Well, that's why I think Chihaya is so good, because she wants to do well within her team too, and vice versa.
Yeah. What I liked about this episode with the Chihaya future storyline is that something I didn't really like think about too much, but because I was really just thinking about Chihaya versus the end result of her versus the queen. But really, I think this episode definitely set up, and probably was obvious throughout the season, that Rion is going to be her big obstacle to get to the queen. Like, I don't think I ever really considered what Chihaya's path to like the queenhood was going to be. But this episode's like, oh yeah, of course it's going to come down to her versus Rion to like challenge Shinobu. And I like that because I liked Rion a lot in this episode, along with her kind of Taichi-esque Cheers character.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I actually didn't even consider that either. Because they have been devoting a lot of time to this. Well, not a lot of time, but she is always present in the story. And yeah, it makes sense that she's one of the last remaining rivals for her, other than Shinobu-chan. Because it looks like the Karuta mom, she might compete again, but I feel like her story is essentially over this season.
I don't think she can, because she just had a baby.
That's true. She will have just had a baby, so she'll be busy with that. But she'll probably show up with a baby at a tournament or something.
She'll be at the tournament. Yeah.
The other thing I guess we should mention is that Taichi and Suo, I guess, are in the same class. Or is Suo the teacher of that class?
Suo's in that class, and I think that ending hinted at they were playing karuta together. Because they were in like robes, weren't they? And you saw him get up and he didn't have any shoes on, like they were on tatami mats.
I didn't even notice that.
I thought, because I saw that they didn't have shoes, and I thought they were on the mat. They were on the mats, but now I can't really remember if they were wearing robes or if that's just what I kind of wish they were doing. But to me, that scene inflected that, like when he was playing one-on-one with Suo, and I thought that was the tease. Which maybe it's just wishful thinking because I said that like a few weeks ago of just like they should play together, but it makes sense. Right? I think it makes sense.
When did you see that scene?
The very last one, because like when Chihaya and Taichi both got the message from the from Arata, Chihaya gets it and then Taichi gets it, and then he looks up and then like the master's there, and then he stands up and he's barefooted and like he walks over to like the master. So it's like, to me, that it's like they were setting up to play together. Because I don't know how those prep classes work, but I don't think you go to prep class barefooted. So I guess, but I don't know. I thought that was my Taichi tease for next season.
Yeah, let's just go with that. I mean, I could believe it because the last thing we saw of Taichi before that was that he noticed that Suo was in the class, and before that, Taichi was thinking about how nobody in the class is talking about clubs or outside activities or karuta. And suddenly the only person that can talk about karuta, Suo, shows up, same class as him. So I guess it would be natural that Suo would probably, because, Suo and him are both going through the same experience and have the same background in karuta. So it'd be natural that they would fall into a match with each other. Because that's all they know. That's all they love. Everything in the show expressed through karuta.
Yeah.
It's funny because I guess in a way Suo will also play a way in Taichi getting back into karuta, which is kind of a weird thing that we didn't think about either.
Yeah, we just, it's funny. The way we theorized about it was Taichi in the vacuum, essentially. Like there were no other characters possible that could get him out of his funk other than Taichi himself.
Yeah.
Or Chihaya.
When obviously it's like, well, there's so many other possibilities. Even Retro could have gotten fucking Taichi back in a karuta.
Yeah.
Taichi could have seen Retro playing his heart out, even though he's class B still, and Taichi would have been like, damn, Retro is better than me because he's still in the game and he sucks. And I'm awesome. I should go back.
It's funny because his mom even was like, whoa, he quit the karuta club?
Yeah, his mom could have gotten him back in the Taichi karuta. Yeah. Anyone could have done it.
Nope, Taichi in a vacuum.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's art, of course, so. Anyways, great finale, I have to say.
Yeah, it was very fitting. It's like, and that's what you kind of want from an anime. It's one that just teases future stories, but doesn't end on like a super dark, depressing note, which, yeah. I might love, but it's like, this is better for a Chihayafuru finale. I mean, because even the side characters, like even the great little moment of Hanano, or I think that's, Hanano, like being the one to teach the new kids. Like the ones, and I think they all look a little defined enough to be like, okay, these are actually going to be important characters later on. Especially because I'm kind of interested in that one sister who's there, who's in Class A, because we've seen her bits and pieces before, but she's like an unlikable character, so it's going to be interesting to see how the show morphs her into a likable character. Because I have total faith the show will do that.
I actually don't recognize her. Who was she again? Because I know they named her, but I don't know who she was.
She was one of the who I think we even just saw either 2 episodes ago. It was like when during the tournament they were the brother and sister duo who like argued every card.
Yeah,
it's the sister.
The
of
annoying
that.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the sister of that, and she's class A, I guess. So.
Okay.
Dang.
I guess they were teasing her reveal later on. That's interesting. I didn't even think they were gonna bring those characters back. I thought they were just there for the tournament.
Yeah, me too.
This show always has a plan, doesn't it?
It does.
It's a smart show.
It's a high IQ show. Big brain show, not for us.
Big brain show where we get all of our theories completely wrong. Dark Taichi. What I really actually do appreciate is just how much the sport influences these characters and the emotions that they're feeling. Because at its core, it's an emotional show, right? So it's like when the characters need to learn something, they can, and especially this one, they can turn to the poems and think about what they mean. And I really like that connection between the players and the sport that they're playing. Like I was thinking about any other sports anime we watch. Like, can you imagine like Haikyuu? It's like if I can't even think of the main kid's name.
Hinata.
Hinata.
You forgot.
Yeah, I forgot to say. If Hinata was like having like an emotional crisis, and then he looked at the volleyball and was just like, the spirit and sweat of the volleyball guides me. It's like, no, that's stupid as hell. But for Chihaya, it works.
I see what you mean. Yeah, there is a specific advantage that this sport has over other sports, especially when it comes to turning it into a story, and that there is an explicitly artistic component to it, and maybe not even just artistic, but like kind of like a spiritual maybe component to it, where maybe that's too highfalutin of a word, but like the expressions in the poems are definitely related to life experiences. And yes, it is a powerful way for the characters to draw from, and also to represent what's going on in their lives. I mean, every episode I think has a line from a poem, or it is titled after a line from one of the 100 poems. So yeah, it's a great advantage that it has, and I appreciate that as well. It's awesome. Karuta's great. Let's play it.
Let's play Karuta.
Let's learn Japanese.
Who, I guess, can we wrap up on season? Anything else about this particular episode that we want to discuss that you liked, didn't like?
Not really.
Yeah, I think we discussed all of it.
So I guess season wide, as we ask with sports animes, who is the MVP for a season wide? Season
wow.
one.
This has become an anime ricochet, huh?
Yep. Surprise.
You know what? Off the top of the rim of my hat, I'm gonna give it to Hanano.
Ooh.
Just because she, I think, has grown the most this season, and because she has kind of she is the reason why Taichi had the courage to sort of speed things along with him and Chihaya. And even though she loved Chihaya or Taichi, she gave Taichi that chance to express himself to Chihaya, and that's a move of true love right there, which is why Taichi deserves Hanano. So I'm gonna give it to her.
Dang. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay, who's next?
Do you have one, Torie?
I don't have one, so you can go.
I'll go. I'm going to give my MVP to Suo, actually, because I think at this stage in the game, this is where the show needs to introduce, the big bad, right, so to speak, the villain. And we haven't seen much of Suo in up until this season. And when we were introduced to him, he became this really fascinating character in a lot of different aspects, to where I want to see more of Suo. And I think that's really cool for a show. He's introduced as the great final, obstacle for Karuta that our heroes are going to have to overcome. But yet he's not completely a bad guy, because he has his dimensions, he has his reasons, and he, I think, influenced the story and branched off into these exciting new directions. So I would say Suo is my season MVP.
All right. Well, I'm going to go for a little more obvious pick. I think Taichi is the MVP. There you go.
Yeah.
Just because I think maybe one of the reasons why Jeff and I both didn't like Chihaya from the get-go for the very first season is that we thought Taichi was a very kind of one-dimensional, one-note person, where he really was only doing this because he liked Chihaya and that was really it. There's nothing else. But I think this season really brought his growth a lot. You got to see different sides of Taichi where we thought, oh, he actually really likes karuta. Oh, it's really because he likes Chihaya still. And then he like confronts Chihaya finally with his feelings, and then he gets crushed, and then, you know, he's trying to move past that, and that is really hard for a character to deal with. And he's gone like through the growth of karuta as well. He's improved his game. He's been going to a lot of championships, and I think he was almost really close to being one of the Masters finals. So I think his growth in karuta and his growth of a character is why I pick him as an MVP.
All right then.
Solid reasoning.
Traitor.
I mean, I still think Arata
I know, I'm
is.
just kidding. Anyways, I guess that's it.
Wow, that
is
hurts.
it for the season?
That hurts. That's a wrap up of the entire season of Chihayafuru. I have faith it will be back. Hopefully next year, I guess, because that's or maybe this winter, I think, or fall. When did this one start? It
was so long ago. You know,
It was in the fall,
think of where we started. We started 20 some weeks ago.
Yeah.
Excited that season 3 was even a thing, and now here we are in the midst of a global pandemic, huge economic downturn.
Yep.
And also season 3 is over. So really, we're in a worse spot than we were 20 weeks ago, which is really shitty to think about. But
I don't want to say I'm
happy.
comparing. I'm not saying I blame Chihayafuru ending to what we're experiencing, but I'm just saying it's an awful big coincidence.
Well, the studio that made Chihaya, are they affected at all with all this? Because that might delay.
I guess that's actually a good question overall. Of just like not saying that just Chihayafuru will be impacted, but will all of anime? Because a lot of TV shows over here in the States are impacted because they all have to halt production. I wonder how that's going to affect anime studios and anime overall.
I'm sure they can all work remotely.
That's true.
They've got their pencils. I don't know.
Maybe.
But anyways,
I don't know how they make anime.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. It's been a great season. I want to thank Coby and Torie for being such great commentators alongside with me. I want to thank all the new subscribers we picked up because we did this show ever since we started out. Thank you guys for subscribing and also watching and commenting. We love seeing you guys out there. If I may make a request, please spread the word. Spread the word of Chihayafuru. Let there be a season 4. Let there be a season 4 by making sure a lot of people watch this show and letting it be known that this show is indeed loved by more than just 3 people in a podcast.
Best sports anime.
Best sports anime. One of the best animes in general, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And with that, Torie, is there anything you want to say?
Subscribe.
All right, thanks. And Coby, would you like to sign us off?
Sure. You've been watching this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'd like to thank Jeff and Torie for making this an amazing thrill ride of a season, and I'm just so happy they turned around to the show. I usually make a joke about how they didn't like Chihayafuru in the first season, and now they love it. But this has, but I don't even have a joke, so I'm just extremely happy that they did, because this has been an amazing show to talk about. And I'm just worried for the next show that we talk about, because is it going to have as much depth and as much emotion attached to it? Who knows, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, go check out some of our other videos, subscribe, keep playing karuta, and by play karuta, I mean keep your emotional connection with your friends strong. So
Play
thank you all.
karuta online.
Yeah, play karuta online. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you some other time.
See ya.
Yeah.